Well, hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday night. I'm Tia Knapp, and I have with me the amazing Dr. Michael Gross.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're so pleased to have you here. Lots of things to share with you.
We bring this to you every Thursday night at 7 o'clock. We go about 30 minutes, give or take a couple. And what I'll do really quick is I'll give you a quick introduction on Michael Gross. Dr. Michael Gross is a professional keynote speaker, an energy transformational coach, entrepreneur, and an author of the Spiritual Primer, applying God's 12 transformational laws to reawaken your soul by reconnecting to God, the true source, to experience your true source's love, joy, and happiness. He helps you achieve an unlimited life. And I, for one, honestly cannot thank you enough, Michael, for how you've changed my life and all the lessons that you've taught me. My
Thank you.
goodness, the way my life is unfolding today is absolutely beyond anything I would have ever dreamt of. So thank you. For those
Well,
of you who are new, Michael does, I'm going to say this really quick. Michael does do a complimentary consultation, which he'll address a little bit later. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all his contact information in the comments, okay? But here's the thing I do want to share. For over 30 years, Dr. Michael Gross has been a spiritual teacher, a multidimensional healer, transformational coach who's exceptionally skilled in all aspects of soul, oversoul, vibrations, frequencies, body timing, life force energies, and more. And until I met you, Michael, I didn't even know that we're all in energy. You know, our soul's in energy. And I love your topic choice tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and just stop right there and let you have the floor, and I'll ask a few questions. And I encourage everybody to go ahead and leave their comments and questions because we can ask Michael right now on this side, okay? Here you go, Michael.
all right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I'm so happy you're with me this evening and happy that you and I can present something that I feel is very important. When we look at what's happening out on the planet, and I've said this before, all the chaos and uncertainty, and then we see the challenges we're going to have with AI and challenges with robotics. And I don't know about you, but when I go on to social media, I see some famous actor died in a crash or whatever, and then you look it up, they never died. And we don't know what kind of information we're really receiving, whether it's true or not. And sometimes I'm in my email, I get that I've ordered something and they want me to pay a bill, or I've won a prize and you send in $25, $50 or whatever. And you're so skeptical about sending in any information anymore. And this is what I'd like to address with you because you have the gift of discernment, the gift to understand. And sometimes we don't listen to the thoughts of our soul and communicate with our soul. But I'd like to lay out a background about let's say, your vibrations and energies and communications with your soul. I'm channeling the information, and sometimes I get pictures and I have to translate it to English or to a English comprehension where we can understand, to spoken, I should say. And the important thing is you wrote the script for your life before you incarnated. And this is so important. So I would like you to view your life right now as a grand play, a play of whatever Shakespeare, whatever play you can think of. And you wrote the play, or a movie, if you will. You wrote it. And you wrote the things that are going to be occurring to your life that are going to challenge you, to give you strength and knowledge and understanding. And realizing that the one and only one in control of your life is you, and how you acquiesce to others is how you either lose control, you find pain, you find illness, sickness, or you find joy and happiness and success. And these days that I talk to so many beautiful souls, most of them I hear money, 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 money. And when I sit down and talk to them, I go, do you really think that you designed your life to be poor and destitute or homeless? Do you really think that's what you desire to do? Now, I will admit you may have come in to learn lessons about finances and money, Once you learn them, and believe me, by the time you're listening to me, you've already learned about money, unless you're under the age of 10 or 12, you know how money works. And I remember a lot of intuitive readings I used to do at psychic fairs, which I don't do anymore for the specific reason. Who am I going to marry? What's my next job? And how much money I'm going to make? Try listening to that for 30 times, 40 times a day, over and over and over again. And after a while, I sat there and said, isn't there anything else that's important? Yeah, you get the few worried about their health or, if I'm going to make a trip or whatever. But look at the concentration: money, relationships, and new jobs, which are all related to words of success. And again, as we get older, we begin to look, well, maybe health is important. But everything you do in not listening to your soul, that gut feeling, that intuitive feeling, has an outcome. Or everything you listen to has an outcome. But whatever is occurring, you have the choice to say, whoa, I don't want to experience this. What am I to learn? I'm going to move forward. But you're not really listening to your soul, and you're not trusting the words that I am speaking to. We talk about religiosity, and religiosity is good. I asked the true source, what good is religiosity? And I heard it sets up a moral code. You learn things, some of the proverbs, weather, and some of the religious teachings are very powerful. But on the other hand, a lot of it is written by someone else's opinion, which is fine. That's what their opinion is. But words have changed. And we have to understand that words have changed. And that the meaning years ago, centuries ago, have changed. Like in the Hebrew word in the Ten Commandments, thou shalt not kill. It's really thou shalt not murder. Think of this, thou shalt not kill. Oh, so somebody's standing there in ancient times with a sword, and I'm going to let them stick the sword in and kill me. Or supposing I'm overseas and there was a war going on, I'm going to let the enemy shoot and kill me, or am I going to defend myself? That's so important for us to understand. Thou shalt not murder, which is different. We can talk about killing animals. Thou shalt not kill. Well, if you're hungry, should you starve to death? These are all questions, moral questions that you have to answer. However, I'd like to just point out to these things how words and definitions change all the time. And, they use awesome, which means great, but in my day, that was meant unusual and happy. So everything changes, and you're changing. But you look at our society today, and you're not listening to your soul and trusting that your soul has created a life of joy. So you have the ego, which is edging God out, and you sit there, and you doubt this, and you doubt that, and then you question it. And I said, true source, why do they question? Why do they keep asking all these questions? Why do they doubt? And the answer I get is, Coach, you don't trust. You don't trust. But if you see it on YouTube or social media or some religiosity, well, it must be true without any evidence. So my next question, well, why do you believe these things? Because when you're young, you're brainwashed, including, I found a 4-leaf clover. I'm going to have a lucky day. And guess what? If you believe it, you will. Is it the 4-leaf clover, or is your faith and belief and acceptance that it's going to be your lucky day? Or I have my lucky rabbit's foot, or whatever. See, these are the things I wish to point out to you. I wish to point out to you because you're not alone. You have your angels, your guides, your guardian angels, and you have this beautiful life ahead of you. Yes, there are trials and tribulations. Yes, there are challenges. But what if you turned around and, like the true source said to me, there's no such thing as failure. In fact, I'm concerned it should even be in the dictionary. Because true source said failure means, no, Michael, you didn't have failure. You learned it worked and didn't work. Well, how are you going to learn something? If it doesn't work, you learn it, you change it, you enhance it, or you don't do it anymore. That's not failure. That's knowledge. Look at knowledge of your challenges in your life. And I look at all the things that I've read and heard and thought about. We are obviously in an age of technology and information. but is the information correct? And who is spewing out the information? You listen to the press. I understand now they'd rather go to YouTube or podcasters where they get more accurate information than they do from the press. And even religiosity, no matter who the pastor, rabbi, or priest is, they will select verses, but not the whole entire verse, which gives you the meaning of it. So here you are learning the meaning of your life while you're here. Well, let's talk about the overview. Listen to your soul, and your soul is going XYZ. Listen, you came here to learn about what works and doesn't work. You came here about karma. Oh, karma's a bad thing. No, it's a great thing. It's knowledge. And what is knowledge? Just learn. Let's suppose in a past life you stole money from people or you were whatever. Now you came back to learn somebody steals money from you. Oh, that's what it feels like. Okay, it's over and done with. Move on. Not going to happen anymore. But what do we humans do? You live in fear. Whatever you fear the most, guess what? You attract in your life. Whatever you desire, joy, and happiness in your life, you'll attract into your life. Well, wait a minute. If I can attract negativity and I can attract positivity, what does that mean? It means something simple. You have a choice. What do you desire to attract in your life? What do you desire to connect with? What do you desire to happen? Sometimes I've noticed with a lot of souls right now, they're being challenged with money. And then this gives you the opportunity to learn how you feel about your money, what your relationship is about money, and also to understand that that is not your false God. People say, no, God's not my money. Well, why do you worship? Why do you seek it? Why do you run for it? You're worshiping it. Yes, not in a religious way, but it owns you. Nothing must own you in your life. Just one thing must control and own your life. You know what it is? Unconditional love, period. Or love, period. That's the only thing. And once you realize that everything is created out of love, from love, by love, and from love, and with love, then you realize, well, what does love mean to you? Joy, happiness. You have a love of a person, you have a love of your family, love of your children, love of your spouse, a love of food, a love of your passion of your work, whatever it is. But it's an emotion that gives you what? Joy, happiness, wholeness, and completeness. That's what love is all about. More importantly, it's unconditional. So when I look around and I see somebody screw up, boy, I love them for what they're challenging in their life to grow. However, we let our fears and doubts and belief systems, which are erroneous, controlling, and manipulative, own us. And then when it owns us, it controls and manipulates us. To you, I know you want to say something because I'm going to have a sip of my water without any olives.
I do have a question. You refer to unconditional love. Now, we also, if I understand right, subconsciously, we're also generating unconditional love to places too, right? So, why is it so important? I mean, why is it that we often forget to love ourselves or find it very hard to love ourselves?
Well, that's a very good question. I'll answer it as succinctly as I can. And first of all, we have to understand that what do you learn when you grow up? The first word you usually learn is no, 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 no. And then you realize that you're not supposed to be egotistical, which we shouldn't. And then we have judgments placed upon us, opinions, rules, and regulations. And then we feel that if we mistake or you shouldn't have done this or criticize, we feel inferior. So all this feeling of inferior, not good enough, whatever you want to call it, is being inculcated within us by what? The judgments of others. Sometimes, it is done with positivity and is done with, well, I want to help you, and so on and so forth. And I remember a family member of mine said to one of my children, my daughter wanted to become a psychologist. I'll be honest, my wife said, you're not smart enough. At that point, I blew a gasket. Steam was coming out of my ears, but I didn't say anything. And after my daughter left the room, I said to her, "Why did you say that?" "Well, she's just not smart enough." I said, "You don't know that. There are many people who don't appear to have a high IQ or sharp enough that can be very successful and eventually work things out." And I know that my ex-wife meant well, but the stigma to my daughter was that she had trouble in school because she felt she wasn't smart enough. And this was done when she was 7 or 8 years old. Now, again, my ex-wife meant well, but she believed she wasn't smart enough. And she went through 3 colleges and finally graduated. And she finally got hold of her life. And she became a vice president of a healthcare company. And now she is chief financial officer of a large manufacturing company. She overcame it. That's a good story to tell. But she struggled with it. And it would be better to say, if that's what you desire, go for it. You want to become a psychologist? Go for it. You can achieve anything. As I said, when my mother said when I was growing up, "Michael, you can do anything. Michael, you can do anything." And so I am teaching my children, my grandchildren, you're unlimited, you're unlimited, you're unlimited. And you'd be surprised when you get older and you look at life, "Oh, I can do this." And then it suddenly dawned on me. My mother always said, "Michael, you can do anything." Did I have challenges? Yeah. Did I end up with sometimes egg on my face? Yeah, but I overcame them because I can do anything. Now I've changed to I am unlimited. You're unlimited. What's that mean? For all of you, you are limited. In other words, what are your limitations? It's the illusion is your limitations. And your soul is going, "Hey, listen, why are you listening to this? Why are you listening to this?" "Well, my mother said it, my school teacher said it, my friend said it." "Oh, okay. So they're the expert. They know everything and they've got it done and they can achieve it. Interesting. What is true to you? Do you think you were brought up to be dumb, naive, not achieve anything?" We go through life trying to prove everything for ourselves, and we're always looking for recognition. And if you don't think that is true, go onto Facebook or go onto some other social media. Do you think I really care? This is what I had for dinner. Do I really care what you had for dinner? This is a pair of new shoes I bought. Do I really care? You're doing it for your ego. And you know what? I don't share things when I get new things. Maybe with one friend, I may say, "Hey, I got this new blah, blah, blah." But you know what I'm sharing? My happiness with it so that they might think about doing that. If I eat at a restaurant, "Gee, I ate at a great restaurant. You should try it." I didn't take a picture of what he ate or anything like that. And I'm sharing that because I want them to try the restaurant. I want them to be happy. And they may come back and say, "It's okay." Okay, well, thank you for trying it. Don't feel, "Oh, they ignored me," or feel you're hurt. Listen, some people like chicken, some people like steak, some people like pork. We all have those things. We all have our like and dislikes. But when sharing our joy, but I do it on one-on-one rather than sharing it on Facebook, because really, who cares? And now we are facing Facebook, where the AI can duplicate your voice and all kinds of things, which we can discuss at a later state. But more importantly, what I desire for all of you to understand is that I talk about faith, belief, and acceptance. And I'll reiterate, faith is that anything you so desire is achievable, is achievable. Belief, it is now, not tomorrow, but now occurring. And acceptance is that you're worthy. The other day I was reminded of a quote from Jesus doing healings. And he said, depending upon what you read, but the essence is, by your faith shall you be healed. By your faith. What does it tell you? Your faith, your belief, and acceptance. You're healed. And he tried to communicate that with so many souls. What if you apply it to your life? By your faith, belief, and acceptance, you are now successful. Well, we're here to experiment with everything. You experiment with food, you experiment with water, you experiment going on vacations. It's just nothing but knowledge. And when you realize what works and doesn't work in your life, you go, oh, that's pretty cool. I learned something new. So you didn't fail. It wasn't terrible. You learned it. Sometimes we get these feelings. Don't do it this way. I'm going to prove that I'm right. And that's your ego. And you go, should have listened. Do you ever get the feeling you should go to work in a different way? Or get the feeling to call somebody? Or get the feeling that, you should show up early, or you should buy a gift, or go out to dinner, or whatever, and you ignore. That's the soul talking to you. The soul has one job: for you to learn and grow and have joy and happiness in your life. So whatever joy and happiness means in your life, number one in your life, my opinion, is perfect health. You can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have perfect health, you're not going to enjoy it. Number two is to have happiness, whatever happiness is. Lasting happiness, not a shot of, oh, I'll buy this new toy and now I'm bored. I got to get something else to feel happy. And really, I should have put on top of that, the whole theme of your life is unconditionally loving everything, even if it's challenging. So if you're unconditional love everything, and then you have happiness and joy, you're going to attract all those things in your life. You don't have to write them down. If you want to, you can. You just know that in being whatever you are, and you can tell the universe what you desire for joy and happiness, or you don't have to tell, because your soul already knows. And no matter what you ask for, if it's not right for you, you will not attract it in your life. Or you'll change directions in your life. Been there and done that. If you look at my career, I've done so many different things. And I'm not bragging, but you know what? None of it was planned. None of it. It just happened. And I learned to be in the flow. So as the true source said, to be in control is out of control, which means you have choices to whatever you so desire to experience. I want to thank you all for joining us. I know the hour is going late and time really flew. I would like all of you to share joining us or the replay of these messages, because they are empowering. And at this stage of our life on this planet, it's all about creating unconditional love in your life that brings you wholeness and completeness and happiness. With that thought in mind, every Tuesday evening from 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. Pacific time, it's called Soul Awakening. What do? You call in, you ask a question, and perhaps I can answer it. And then you leave a 10-minute message. And I know some of you are very spiritual and very intuitive, and you may know a lot of things I'll share, but I'm willing to forget that you are thinking this way. What I'm willing to think about is you may have forgotten them, and you needed to be reminded and awakened. And I was talking to one of my students that's been with me 30 years, and she reminded me of something. And she said, what you did, you used to call self-empowerment. And I said, you're right. Thank you for reminding me, because this is what this is all about, self-empowerment. And I'll be talking about the mystery schools and the International Institute of Self-Empowerment, which is a 5013C in the future. Lots of fun and wonderful things I want to share with you. But getting back to Tuesday evening, if you desire to call in on freeconferencecall.com, not Zoom, like I say, you can be in your pajamas, I'll never know. Join us. What do you got to lose? You may remember something or learn something new. Do you give them that information, how they can be part of it?
Absolutely. The Tuesday night call, you just dial in 202-926-1059 and the access code, Michael?
125446#. One more time, please.
Okay, it's 202-926-1059 and the access code?
125446#. Using the same code, same telephone number, the second Saturday of every month from 9:55 a.m. Pacific time to 11:01 Pacific time. I do what is called mass consciousness healing for the planet. It's the animal, mineral, and vegetable kingdom. You're part of the animal kingdom, by the way. And Mother Earth, she needs it. It makes a change. And you can change this energy. If you will join us and you ask what changes have come, I will tell you what changes have come. Magnificent things have occurred. And we get Jesus Christ joining us sometimes, the archangels joining us. We get Buddha and other avatars that are highly evolved joining us. So please give up that hour and 6 minutes and change everything on this planet, which changes your life. Tio, give them that information one more time.
Absolutely. Michael, we've got some beautiful comments too, so let's make sure
We'll
we give
cover
them
that
time.
afterwards.
Okay. The call in for the Mass Consciousness Healing is 202-926-1059, and the access code, Michael?
125446 #. Thank you. Now, another thing I'd like to share with you is that there's a 10-minute message given with every Tuesday evening, and that 10-minute message is recorded. And give them that information how they can listen to those 10-minute messages. There's about 395 or 96. Tio, give them that information.
Okay, that number is 434-300-4170, and the access code, Michael?
125446 #. When you call, it starts at number 3 and it goes up to 395. They're not listed because I don't want to read through 395 or 92 labels. Use your intuition, your soul. What number should I listen to? 147. Okay. Then I get a call. Boy, it's just what I need to listen to. You're stuck in traffic. You're angry. You're upset. What do you got to lose? 10 minutes? You might gain a lot. Gio, give them that information one more time, please.
Absolutely. It's 434-300-4170, and the code, Michael?
125446 #. So join us. Also, all of you who are new, I offer a 20-minute complimentary consultation. Take me up on it. The information Tio has given you is there. When you call me, I may not pick it up because I'm tired or I'm busy working with someone. Then leave me a text message. You can leave me a voice message. Please leave me a text message. Do not text message me first. I do look at my text messages. Could be at 2 o'clock in the morning, and you don't want to hear from me at 2 o'clock in the morning because you deserve your rest. And I noticed something weird. Then I get a text message that was given to me the day before, and I get it the day after. And others have said when I send a text message replying to their call, the same thing is occurring. So please do both so I can follow through on it. That's really important. Also, if you go to Dr. Michael B. Gross YouTube, you can see what I call the reruns of the 10-minute messages, or some of the messages that we're doing right now, the half-hour ones. You can choose those and listen to them. So the 10-minute messages is a beautiful photography done by Tio Knapp, award-winning photographer, with the quotes on it in a 10-minute message, or you can review our messages on YouTube. I want to thank all of you. Tio, what kind of wonderful questions do they have? Or thoughts?
Well, it's actually not questions, Michael. It's comments. Mary loves your comment, faith, belief, and acceptance. Darshan also shared that Steve Jobs, which you have said this yourself, understood that health is the most important thing. And he had plenty of money, but you can't buy your health. Um, then Cindy was here, and she says we should be sharing our podcast more. So feel free, everyone, when you find it on our Facebook pages, hit the share button and send it to your friends. There's a link that pops up. Okay, it's great when we can support one another. And Dr. Michael B. Gross on YouTube, he's got over 3, maybe 4 years worth of recordings now that we've been doing, right, Michael? We've been doing
Yes.
this for a while. And you can see the transition as we've started moving forward doing Zooms and whatnot. So definitely go back and subscribe to Michael's YouTube page, because it's well worth your time. And share those too, those 10-minute recorded messages. A lot of them are there as well. Maybe not all of them, because there's a lot there that we have to share, but definitely, go check them out, okay?
Thank you. Tio and I do this for pure love. She gives up her valuable time. I give up my valuable time, because our whole goal is to awaken your soul so that you can do your mission and goal and make a difference on this planet. Because you know what? Each one of you are the solution. So I desire to thank you. And I'd like to bring up one further thing, and that is we'll do a commercial. And this is brought to you by Healing the Holes in Your Soul by T.U. Knapp. It's a story, as you all know by now, of the mythological bird rising from the ashes, the phoenix. And certainly her life story tells you about the rebirth of a beautiful soul who went through many trials and tribulations and came out the other end whole. This is a must read. Please
Thank you.
share this with everyone.
Thank you, Michael, for your kind words within the pages in my book as well. But I highly recommend that everybody start with this one, the Spiritual Primer, and grab your complimentary consultation with Dr. Michael, because he truly woke up my soul. And if you've never really had that soul awakening experience, oh my goodness, trust me, it's something that you will never, ever, ever in your whole entire life forget. It's an amazing experience, Michael. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for that moment in time when you woke up my soul, and all the things that have happened since then. So start with this book. There's questions at the end of each chapter that will guide you, and there's golden nuggets in here that are very, very valuable in how you can move forward in your spiritual journey and in your life journey. Because in our lives, we all have challenges. And I know that Michael and I have joked sometimes about why we signed up for some of the things that happened in our lives, and who spiked our drink, right, Michael?
Yes.
But start here, and definitely call him. Okay, his contact info is in the comments on our Facebook page, and if you can't find him, then contact me, and I will definitely connect you with him. Okay, because his book and my book. His book isn't even on Amazon right now, but in order to get a signed copy of either book, you've got to contact us anyway. Nice job, Michael. But anyway, that's all I have right now. But I just want to thank you, Michael, for giving us your time, and invite your friends to join us, okay? Because Michael has powerful messages every Thursday night, and we can't wait to see your comments next week. Bring your friends.
Thank you, everyone. I wish you a great week. And yes, please spread the word. I love you all. Remember, you are unlimited. Namaste. Love you.
Namaste.
Have a great week.
Thank you for coming. We love you.